LG, the stack is already, you know, a little bit underemphasized when Sparks just isn't doing the damage whenever they go toe-to-toe. No matter what the stack was at those points, Sparks just wasn't sinking his teeth into him, and now Rafa is enjoying a very, very comfortable position here, and now he's leveraging that against Sparks in the strongest way. So 10 up with less than 3 minutes left on the clock. I think it's safe to say DM13 is going to be going over to Sparks, but the initial amount of control that Sparks was able to put together, even taking the map away from Rafa for a while, definitely shows a lot of promise, but there just wasn't the follow-through as far as making the attack happen on Rafa. But that, again, that goes back to what you were saying about Rafa not getting flustered at all by not being in control. He's making sure he's not sticking his neck out where it doesn't belong in those situations. But to be honest, there were very few situations where Rafa could not afford to show up at Mega, could not afford to show up at Red, and he just had enough yellow to really do the damage and be confident in those situations as well.
So we do have IRC having some disagreements about what should be shown. And for those that are wondering, yeah, I obviously, you know, I think we all considered, you know, Sparks to be the underdog in the situation. We kind of figured Rafa to win. But what we wanted to see, and let me repeat it since I guess it's difficult to hear for some, I wanted to see what kind of shape Rafa is in. Okay, and considering that he's maintaining a 33-35% LG, he's been able to you know, think his way around DM13 extremely well. I think it gives us a pretty good indication of how the rest of the evening may go for Rafa, and that's what I wanted to see. Now, Chance versus Zeal is going on right now, and if this happens to be 2 maps, and the other one goes into 3, then we're going to switch right over to the other game. So, you know, have no fear there, but you know.
And the other factor is that if history is any precedent, if we were covering Chance Zeal right now, there would be like 1 million people going, Rafa's playing right now, why aren't you covering Rafa? That's exactly just how it goes. Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, Chance is up versus Zeal 9-0. So, you know. Watch one blow out. Might as well be Rafa at the helm, right? So, clearly, you can never make anyone happy in this world, but at least I'm going to be happy watching Rafa, so you all can go fuck yourselves.
Mr. Skittles McDouche. Alright, we got 30 seconds left on this. 13 on neg1, but Sparks, you know, a lot of the frags have come in the latter 5 minutes. Before a solid 2 minutes, Sparks was at the helm of this map, and just a bit more experience, I would say, coming into the maps like this. I mean, for a while, like, T7 was his map, and still might be. I mean, that's what's coming up next here in about 8 seconds, so that could be, you know, a little bit of a different story. Maybe.
Alright, guys, I will crank up the game sounds. Give me 1 second.
Alright, guys, well, we're going live here. Second map, Rafa Sparks. I'm sorry, I was wrong. T7 got thrown. It's actually going to be the Blood Run.
Yeah, although Sparks is pretty comfortable here, but Rafa, I think, will come out on top. I mean, yeah, Rafa is. I mean, this probably is a place where Sparks, you know, is going to feel comfortable, but how comfortable can you be when you're facing off against Rafa, right? So let's go take a look at Rafa from the start.
World. There's no Mega here. Where's that damn Mega?
Oh, he was just waiting out the red spawn, and he's going to eat a lot of damage, switching up to LG on LG. Is able to connect a rail as he jumps across and just misses another shot against Sparks, who picks up Mega, but is immediately railed off. Very nice play by Rafa to do damage. It looks like, yeah, definitely after the pickup, Sparks really needed that Mega to stay alive, and it was all shaved off, so he had about 23 health. He's able to pick up a pair of 25s up to 73, but he's fighting for his life and running for his life. Here comes Fish Sticks tuning in from the WCG at the moment. We're going to stick with Rafa, though. And, of course, Rafa, it looks like on the scoreboard, is playing himself, but that's just because the score is tied. As soon as someone scores, that'll right itself. There it is. Rafa getting first frag. And Sparks, again, I think is just going to be on the run for a long, long time. But, again, this is not really about watching Rafa face off against, you know, a tough contender. It's about seeing what kind of shape Rafa is in. 75% rail. Of course, he's only shot about 2 shots with it, 3 shots with it. But Sparks is able to get bounced along by Rafa here in the Mega Health corridor. Rafa's going to back off and try to find Sparks one more time. He does so with a nice, beautiful setup shot, and Sparks will be totally out for this red, totally out for this Mega, and the only thing that he has to his name right now is the 1 armor we just saw him pick up at Plasma. So, yeah, Sparks is in a very bad way.
And without a rail, it's not like he can, you know, sit on top of the platform for the Mega Grab and do damage from there. I mean, he really needs to find his way into the middle atrium. Rafa's going to throw off a rocket jump. Sparks is going to fill his face with rocket. Returned just the same by Rafa. So damage there was fairly equal, but Sparks without the stack, he's limping away from this fight, nearly walking into a pineapple here. But he's able to pick up a little bit of Y. But apparently that rocket has given him the cojones to make a move in for the Mega, and it's a clean grab. He doesn't really spend anything for it. Rafa wants to do some rail damage at the plasma gun just to make sure Sparks doesn't run around with that Mega Health too long, but Sparks is able to put the damage together. He's still off of a railgun though, which is really going to hurt him more and more as time goes on.
Yeah, I mean, it's only 1-0, but I haven't really seen anything. I mean, okay, this is the first moment that we've seen out of Sparks where Rafa actually has to start working his brain just a little bit in order to find a way back in. But look at how he's crossing the map though. Just perfect. Now all he has to do is defend this yellow, and that'll give him that's 170 armor. And actually, look at this here. Sparks is going to muscle his way in. He did take some damage, so that's why Rafa's going to boldly go through and hit yet another shot in order to come back around. He's right back to 150 armor. Extremely well done. And he's going to get a little bit caught off guard there. Nice try by Sparks to get a little bit of damage done, but it just wasn't enough.
Yeah, this is almost a mirror image of what we saw in DM13, where Sparks is now temporarily in control, but he's not really doing a lot of damage for all of his efforts. So he's going to be able to pick up a few runs here, but as soon as Rafa goes aggressive against him, Sparks is going to be hard-pressed to really throw anything off. But hey,
so hang on, let me back you up though. Let me back you up there, because that was an opportunity for Sparks that he threw away right there. Rafa crossed the map and was trying to get the plasma yellow. Okay, Sparks saw him coming through the teleporter, you know, across from red, but then ducked away from the fight in order to get the red armor. But what that did is that gave Rafa a chance at about 190 armor, which of course is way more than Rafa needs to pick a fight with Sparks. And now, as you can see, Rafa's gotten himself right back up to about 200 armor, and you can see his style of play has just changed. He's able to catch Sparks out with 2 good rockets. Sparks gets a pretty good one of his own, but as you can see, Rafa is able to collect the frag. So you know, still not full control. Let me
wind you back for a moment, because that little LG fight that Sparks threw off on top of the portal yellow, that didn't need to happen. Items were coming up in 4 seconds. Sparks needed to have every amount of stack he could muster in order to secure both of them. But by you know, weakening himself by going head to head with Rafa there, he lost out on red armor, and you know, it just turned into a slippery slope after that.
Actually, Slava, in the middle of this battle here, I want to ask you, what's the ETA on the low-quality stream? We got some people that are having trouble handling the higher quality one that we're running right now.
It's up right now.
Do people have the link?
The topic in the channel.
Well, you should start spamming that link so that people know it, okay?
Yeah, nobody looks at topics these days.
Yeah, no one looks at topics.
I spammed it, but I will.
Yeah. All right, guys. So, guys, yeah, definitely check out the link that is coming up right now. Also, check the topic in our IRC channel. And that will be a lower quality stream to what you are watching right now. It's basically a restream. So we want to give you guys sub options. Please enjoy and partake and let us know how the quality works for both of you. We're going to try to make this a common thing if we can. So Rafa up by 2 on ZTN, has 1 map under his belt. Sparks fighting for dear life here in the first match of the group stages of the Intel Extreme Masters Season 5, right here, streamed live on QuakeLive.tv.
And things are actually very close right now. Rafa's only up by 2 frags, but if you ignore the scoreboard just a little bit, Rafa has this thing so much in the bag. It's not even funny, but you know, things could happen. All it takes is Rafa to make one little mistake. Sparks is gonna push everything he can into the Mega, and he's gonna be able to get it, but not without taking a buttload of damage. And Rafa's gonna be able to seal that deal with the tasty rail. 3 minutes left on the board, and Rafa, after that frag, yeah, he's gonna be even stronger after this. But oh, Sparks is able to get behind him with a couple of rockets, but Rafa with the pixel rail shot is gonna be able to take him straight on down. And there's Sparks' poor railgun. I'm sure he was ready for the shot himself too.
I'm letting people know that we will be watching the tiebreaker between Zeal and Chance, because they will be heading into a third map.
Nice, nice. Oh, that hurt. Alright guys, but yeah, just a couple more minutes here. Rafa is going to be taking apart Sparks with his plasma. I mean, Sparks is essentially first spawning this right now, and Rafa keeping the pressure on. This is expanding his score lead as much as possible in the last couple of minutes, which is going to put him at 8-0 at this current point in time. Rafa taking a little bit of LG damage, and Sparks' LG is finally able to put it together, but he's dropped down to 26 health after that.
Yeah. And Rafa knows that Sparks is weak. Rafa did not get a very favorable spawn, though, not able to do a lot of revenge killing here, but we're going to continue to watch Rafa, because 7 frags to come back with a minute 30 is a bit of a tall order here, but Sparks trying to get in on... Wow, Rafa just totally punishes Sparks, giving that height advantage. Absolutely scary. So I'm not really sure why Sparks felt he could actually get in and do any sort of solid amount of damage. That's a pretty good shot, though, knocking Rafa down to about 60 and 65. There's some armor to keep him alive here, and good thing, too, because, well, apparently Sparks can't hit a rail to save his life, but Rafa's able to find frag number 10.
During these past 2 games, if I could make a huge overgeneralization, oversimplification of the situation, Sparks' metagame is definitely keeping himself in the line. I mean, we finally saw the scoreline expand to Rafa's favor with spawn frag after spawn frag, but for so long, it was, what, 2-0, 3-0. Oh wow, nice, nice. But it's not like Sparks' metagame is suffering here. It's just that, you know, even with the full stack, when he goes head-to-head against Rafa, his aim just doesn't come up to bat. It just gets torn to shreds, and that's been his major issue here.
So with a mere 15 seconds left to go, Rafa will take this second map by about 6 frags. You can see he's backpedaling a little bit into a corner, give himself one quick exit. And we do see Mega picked up by Sparks, but I think it's all a little too late for Sparks to try to come back. And I'm glad to see that he was able to collect 4 frags against Rafa, but that is 2 maps up. Rafa will take this first round, and we're going to head directly over to the tiebreaker between Zeal, aka Jovire, and Chance.
And if they've been waiting, I do want to send out a quick thank you. I never ever expect anybody to wait for the broadcasters, but every once in a while you have a situation like this crop up, and it's always an appreciated thing, just to give the show. I like that.
Alright guys, so we are going to see the tiebreaker, Chance versus Jovire. Going to go live in just a few seconds, and it looks like, yeah, Chance was... There we go, yeah, Jovire's saying he hit some very lucky rockets at the end of the last matchup, so... Good times. So, yeah, I just wanted to make sure they didn't hit F3 immediately, you know. Just want to make sure we got in here to watch the full game. We're going live right now, Chance versus Jovire. One more time, guys, we have 2 streams going today. A high quality and a low quality stream, so please check IRC channel, the topic for the low quality stream, if this one is buffering for you. We are live. Jovire at the start, having Mega and 1 yellow armor in hand, Rocket and LG and Rail to his name, so he's got quite the beautiful bounty of weapons to use. He does whiff his opening railgun shots, though. That gives Chance a chance to hop over with a nice 150 armor, and he of course has himself now 200 armor, but has himself rockets and LG. He lacks a railgun, but this fight you can take. Actually.